Hey everyone, welcome back to Nolmiko channel. Today is March 8th, 2026, and we've got a stacked roundup of AI stories from massive technical breakthroughs that could shrink LLM memory needs by 50x, to big ethical fights inside OpenAI, to new safety tools on Roblox, and even a weirdly wholesome open-source AI lobster convention. Let's get into it. First up, a huge technical development that could change how we deploy large language models in the real world. This story comes from VentureBeat, surfaced via Hacker News AI Topics, and was published on March 7, 2026. The article is titled, New KV Cache Compaction Technique Cuts LLM Memory 50x Without Accuracy Loss. If you've ever tried to run a big LLM locally, you know the pain. Memory usage explodes as context gets longer. That's largely because of the KV cache, the key value tensors that store what the model has already seen so it doesn't have to recompute everything for each new token. What this new research claims is pretty wild. A KV cache compaction technique that can reduce that memory footprint by up to 50x, while keeping accuracy basically the same. In plain language, they're finding a way to aggressively compress or prune the cached information the model needs during generation, without making it dumber or more error-prone. That could mean running bigger models on smaller GPUs or even edge devices, much cheaper inference costs in the cloud, longer contexts without hitting a memory wall. The Hacker News post doesn't go deep into the method, but think along the lines of smartly identifying which parts of the cache matter for future tokens, and which can be merged, compressed, or dropped. If this holds up under independent benchmarking, it's a serious upgrade for everything from chatbots to code assistants. We'll link the VentureBeat article in the description so you can dive into the technical details. Now from raw performance to raw politics, this next story comes from Engadget Tech News, published March 7, 2026, titled, OpenAI's head of robotics resigns following deal with the Department of Defense. Caitlin Kalinowski, OpenAI's now former head of robotics, just resigned publicly on X. The reason? She's calling out OpenAI's recent agreement with the U.S. Department of Defense, specifically how fast it was done, and how little governance she feels was in place. According to Engadget, Kalinowski said the partnership moved ahead without the guardrails defined, and that issues like surveillance of Americans without judicial oversight and lethal autonomy without human authorization deserved much more deliberation. OpenAI, in a statement to Engadget, pushed back on the implication that they're enabling those things. They say their deal with the Pentagon is framed around responsible national security uses of AI, with clear red lines, no domestic surveillance, and no autonomous weapons. This follows a broader pattern. Anthropic reportedly declined to weaken its own guardrails related to mass surveillance and fully autonomous weapons, and even Sam Altman has said he'd amend the Pentagon deal to explicitly prohibit spying on Americans. So we're seeing a clear split inside the AI industry. How far should AI labs go in working with militaries and intelligence agencies? And what counts as responsible national security AI? Kalinowski's resignation is one of the more high-profile internal pushbacks we've seen so far, and you can expect this debate to intensify as AI becomes more integrated into defense systems. Source again, Engadget, March 7, 2026. Staying with Anthropic for a moment, but shifting to the labor market. This story comes via Fortune, highlighted on Hacker News AI Topics, published March 6, 2026. The title, Anthropic Mapped Out Jobs AI Replaces, Great Recession for White-Collar Workers. Fortune reports on new research from Anthropic that tries to quantify which jobs are most exposed to AI automation. The conclusion, white-collar workers, especially in knowledge and office roles, could be facing something on the scale of the Great Recession, but driven by software, not subprime mortgages. The study looks at task-level exposure across professions. Think analysts, paralegals, junior programmers, some finance roles, customer support, and various administrative jobs. Many of these roles are made up of repetitive, pattern-based tasks that LLMs and AI agents are getting very good at. The key nuance, according to Fortune's coverage, is that Anthropic isn't saying all these jobs disappear overnight. Instead, they're warning that a large fraction of tasks in white-collar roles can be automated or heavily augmented. That could lead to hiring slowdowns, wage pressure, and restructuring. The impact may be uneven. Some workers become superpowered by AI, while others are squeezed out. This connects directly to the Pentagon debate and the KV cache breakthrough. As AI becomes cheaper and more capable and gets embedded into more workflows, the human side is where the shockwaves hit. Source, Fortune, March 6, 2026, via Hacker News. Let's move from jobs to emotions. This next story is from the BBC, again surfaced on Hacker News AI Topics, published March 7, 2026. The title, 1 in 3 using AI for emotional support and conversation, UK says. According to the BBC's reporting on UK data, roughly 1 in 3 people who use AI tools are now turning to them for emotional support or casual conversation, not just productivity or information. So we're not just talking about, help me write this email. We're talking, I'm stressed, I'm lonely, I need someone or something to talk to. The BBC piece raises several concerns. People might come to rely on AI chatbots instead of seeking real human relationships or professional help. There's limited oversight on how these systems respond to vulnerable users. Companies are effectively becoming unregulated emotional health providers at massive scale. At the same time, the popularity of these tools for emotional support shows a real unmet need. Loneliness is high, mental health systems are overloaded, and AI is always there, always listening. Put this next to Anthropic's job report and OpenAI's Pentagon deal, and you see a pattern. AI is now deeply entangled with both our livelihoods and our inner lives. That's powerful and risky. Source: BBC News, March 7th, 2026. Now to the world of gaming and kids' safety. Engadget Tech News has another story today, published March 7th, 2026, titled Roblox introduces real-time AI-powered chat rephraser for inappropriate language. Roblox has long used AI filters to block inappropriate chat. You've probably seen the infamous, where a message gets totally censored. That's effective, but it can make conversations unreadable. Now Roblox is trying something more sophisticated. Instead of just blocking messages, an AI system will rephrase them in real time into something more appropriate. Engadget gives an example. If someone types, "Hurry TF up," the system might output, "Hurry up." Everyone in chat sees the cleaned up version, and the sender sees exactly what was edited out. Importantly, repeat offenders can still be penalized. So, the AI isn't giving you a free pass, it's coaching and moderating at the same time. According to Engadget's reporting, this feature starts with profanity, but could expand to other categories, works between age-checked users in similar age groups, supports all languages that Roblox's translation tool already handles. This comes after Roblox introduced mandatory age verification earlier this year, partly in response to serious allegations and lawsuits. Engadget cites lawsuits from LA County and from Louisiana's Attorney General, accusing Roblox of failing to protect children from predators on the platform. So Roblox is clearly trying to show regulators and parents that they're using AI not just to generate content, but to actively enforce civility and safety in real time. Source: Engadget, March 7th, 2026. While Roblox is tightening content for kids, OpenAI is still struggling to roll out content for adults. This next story is also from Engadget Tech News, published March 7th, 2026, under the headline, OpenAI is reportedly pushing back the launch of its adult mode even further, is less than #0. 5# is greater than. Engadget, citing reporting from The Information's Alex Heath, says OpenAI is once again delaying its planned adult mode for ChatGPT. This mode was originally teased by Sam Altman back in October under the slogan, Treat adults like adults, including the possibility of erotica for verified adults. The plan was, age gating with verification, different safety rules for adults versus minors, more permissive content if you're a verified adult user. Altman originally said December. Then, an OpenAI exec moved it to Q1 2026. Now, according to Engadget's piece, there's no clear timeline. OpenAI told Engadget they're delaying adult mode to focus on higher priority work for more users, things like improving intelligence, personality, personalization, and making ChatGPT more proactive. They still say they intend to launch adult mode, but it will take more time. Note that OpenAI started rolling out an age prediction tool in January, which likely ties into this. They're trying to infer your age from usage patterns as an extra layer of protection. This all sits at the intersection of safety, business, and brand reputation. On one side, there's massive demand for more flexible, adult-oriented AI. On the other, regulators and society are still figuring out how to handle AI and sexuality, exploitation risks, and minors. Source: Engadget, March 7th, 2026. Let's zoom out to the broader ethics of AI agents making decisions on their own. This story is an opinion piece from Undark, shared via Hacker News AI Topics, published March 5th, 2026. The title, Autonomous AI Agents Have an Ethics Problem. Undark's article argues that as we move from simple chatbots to autonomous agents, systems that can plan, act, and interact with other tools without constant human approval, our current ethics frameworks aren't keeping up. Key themes from the Undark piece. Autonomy amplifies risk. An agent that can browse the web, send emails, or execute code can do real-world harm faster than a static model in a chat box. Accountability is murky. If an autonomous agent causes damage, who's responsible? The developer, the deployer, the user, or the model itself? Existing AI safety efforts often focus on content filtering, not on the emergent behavior of agents operating over long time horizons. This connects directly to OpenAI's Pentagon deal and Anthropic's labor research. If agents are going to manage workflows, run security operations, or handle sensitive data, we need more than, don't say bad words, filters. We need guardrails around goals, oversight, and escalation when they hit ambiguous situations. The Undark piece is a good reminder that the future of AI is not just about smarter chat. It's about increasingly autonomous systems navigating messy human environments. Source: Undark, March 5, 2026, via Hacker News. On a related note, let's talk about how AI can be weaponized to keep you hooked. This story comes from a blog post on studium.dv titled AI SAd-ware, shared through Hacker News AI Topics on March 7, 2026. The author coins the term SAD-ware, capital S-A-D, to describe AI systems designed not just to capture attention like traditional ad tech, but to actively exploit sadness, loneliness, and emotional vulnerability. The concern is that as models get better at reading your mood and customizing responses, they can be tuned to maximize engagement at any cost. That might mean always validating your worst impulses so you keep talking, pushing content that triggers outrage or despair because it's sticky, creating pseudo-relationships that make it harder to log off. It's a darker mirror of that BBC story about 1 in 3 users turning to AI for emotional support. The same capability that makes AI feel comforting can be turned into a mechanism for deep, personalized manipulation. The Studium.dv piece argues we should be designing AI systems that help people graduate from them, that reduce dependency over time rather than maximize daily active users. It's a powerful framing, and it ties into everything from Roblox's moderation tools to OpenAI's adult mode debate. Source: Studium.dv, AI SAD-ware, via Hacker News. Let's lighten it up a bit with one of the more delightful AI culture stories. This one comes from The Verge's AI section, published March 7, 2026, titled, "The OpenClaw Superfan Meetup Serves Optimism and Lobster." The Verge reports from ClawCon, an in-person meetup in Manhattan for fans of OpenClaw, an open-source AI assistant platform created by Peter Steinberger in late 2025. The vibe: according to The Verge, a woman at the door wearing a plush lobster headdress, lobster claw headbands, vibey pink and purple lighting, multicolored name tags, sponsor booths. A demo stage under a skylight, hundreds of people geeking out over open-source AI tools. OpenClaw, previously known as Claudebot and Moltbolt, has gained traction because it's open source and hackable, in contrast to tightly controlled corporate assistants. ClawCon is the physical manifestation of that ethos, community-driven, playful, and optimistic. This story from The Verge is a good reminder that AI isn't just about Pentagon contracts and job displacement. There's also a thriving grassroots scene of builders who want AI to be open, inspectable, and fun, even if it means wearing lobster hats. Source: The Verge, March 7, 2026. Finally, a bit of space science powered by our favorite telescope. This story comes from Tech News Koji Sinbo in Taiwan, published March 8, 2026 local time. The Chinese title is 不可能的地帶, 长成巨獸,超級木星的高效率形成令科學家費解, which roughly translates to growing into giants in an impossible zone, the highly efficient formation of super Jupiters puzzles scientists. The article covers new observations from the James Webb Space Telescope of the HR 8799 system, a famous multi-planet system with 4 massive gas giants, often called super Jupiters. What's surprising, according to Tech News' coverage, is where these planets are and how big they are. They seem to have formed in a region that standard planetary formation models say should be very inefficient, almost an impossible zone for building such massive worlds. This matters for AI how? Modern astronomy, especially with JWST, is absolutely drenched in AI. Machine learning models help process and denoise huge volumes of telescope data. AI assists in identifying exoplanets and characterizing their atmospheres. Simulations of planetary formation increasingly rely on AI-accelerated physics models. So even our confusion about how super Jupiters form is, in a way, an AI story. We're using advanced algorithms to discover that our theories about planet formation might be missing something major. Source: Tech News Koji Sinbo, March 8, 2026, covering JWST observations of the HR 8799 system. Let's zoom out and connect the dots. On the technical side, that KV cache compaction breakthrough from VentureBeat hints at a future where incredibly capable models run cheaply and everywhere. That amplifies everything else. Anthropic's warning via Fortune about a great recession for white-collar workers. The BBC's finding that 1 in 3 users are already turning to AI for emotional support. Roblox's Engadget-covered attempt to use AI as a real-time civility engine for kids. OpenAI's push and pull between Pentagon contracts, adult content, and safety priorities. At the same time, thoughtful critiques from Undark on autonomous agents and from Studium.dv on AI SAD-ware remind us that when you mix autonomy, emotion, and engagement incentives, you get a volatile cocktail. And then you have The Verge's reporting on ClawCon and Tech News' coverage of JWST's Super Jupiters, showing the more inspiring side, communities rallying around open-source tools, and AI-assisted science rewriting what we know about the universe. The through line in all of this: AI is no longer a niche technology. It's infrastructure for our jobs, our feelings, our kids' games, our militaries, and even our understanding of distant planets. If you want to dive deeper, check out the original sources we mentioned. VentureBeat for the KV cache compaction story, Engadget for the OpenAI Pentagon fallout, Roblox's rephraser, and adult mode delays. Fortune for Anthropic's job impact analysis, BBC News for the emotional support stats, Undark for the ethics of autonomous agents, Studium, Dev for the AI SAd-ware essay, The Verge for the OpenClaw ClawCon coverage, Tech News, Kudzi Sinbo for the JWST Super Jupiter's discovery. We'll have links to all of them in the description so you can read the full pieces and form your own views. If you found this roundup useful, consider subscribing to Null Myco channel for more AI news breakdowns like this. And let me know in the comments which of these stories you think will matter most 5 years from now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.